Happy 4th of July. I'm glad you're all here. Thanks for spending a little bit of your time with me on this holiday. Let me see and say hi to everybody. Hi, Islay. I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry if I don't pronounce it correctly. And Sunflower. Hi, Winglish. Hi, Ivy of Housebark. Hi, Carol. Thanks for being here, everybody. Hi, Margaret. I'm glad you made it. Hi, Katie. Thanks for being here. Happy 4th. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, can't wait for the fireworks. I usually don't go out for them. I stay home with my little pup and I'm on the 3rd floor. So I have a pretty good view of the fireworks that are going on around me. And I don't know if it's like impacted all of you, but when I see those the fireworks that are I mean, what do you say? You call them illegal, right? They look like legit fireworks because I see them popping up at, like, neighbors' homes, and it's wild. It's wild. Let's see. Hi, Tracy from Dallas. Thanks for being here. Oh my goodness. Oh my g Hi, Haley. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad this was a good time. I know I try to shuffle my lives so that they're at different times during the day, so I'm really glad this one worked out and it's a good one. Oh my gosh, look who's here. Hi, Sandra. Sandra was my 28th subscriber, you guys. Can you believe it? I'm like, back at that time, I was using an AI voice, and I remember I kept saying, I can't wait until I can start having live streams. And here we are, Sandra. Thanks for being on the journey with me. Hi, Agatha. Hi, Emily. Oh, thanks for being here, Sarah. Hi, Zephyr. Hi, Ivy of House Bark and Not 20. Anna, Lisa. Hi, everyone. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Linda. Hi, Annabelle. So tell me, what are you all doing today? Hi, Mary and Sue. Hi, Disfan. If I missed you saying hello, my apologies. Hi, Kumari and Steve and Polly and Jean. Thank you. Happy 4th, everybody. I think I'm almost caught up. Hi, Charlie. Thanks for being here. Flash Chat Friday. Yeah, because usually I do Flashback Friday. So you're right. This is Flash Chat Friday. I love that. Hi, Karen. Oh my goodness. Hi, Eva and Brenda. Thanks everyone for being here. You know, this fan, that's a good point. I wonder what it's like in that household. Like, I wonder if Megan's holding it over his head, like, we beat you, right? Oh my goodness. Hi, Peekaboo. Thanks for being here. Hi, Peach Blossom. Mahari. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong, Mahari. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Oh, wow, you're multitasking, Shabby Susanna, ironing and listening. That's awesome. My mom yesterday, I was talking to her, and she was saying that she was having such a hard time because she had like 10 articles of clothing she had to iron. And she was just like, this is such a hard day for me. I have to iron all these clothes. And I'm like, why do you make your life so difficult? Why do you have to iron all of it at the same time? But she does. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Annabelle says, I'm keeping my dog Bella. Oh, hi, Bella. Look at that cute little face. Aw. Keeping Bella calm with the fireworks. Yeah. I feel like my puppy doesn't even really notice them. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I've already been hearing some of them going off, and she hasn't really responded. So hopefully we're good. Lisa says, right now I have Wimbledon on and am preparing for this afternoon. Fun, Lisa. What are you preparing? Oh, Not 20 is hanging out with a summer cold. Oh, no. Staying positive and building immunity. Well, I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better. Let's see. Where am I in the chat? Oh, thank you, Katie. Happy 4th of July. Hi, Jat. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. So, what do you guys want to talk about today? Is there anything you want to do? I have some fun questions that I created. Actually, before we even get into anything, The first thing I want to say is that in lieu of super chats and super stickers, if you could please donate instead to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Their link to donate is in the description of this video. And if you do need to contact them, their information is on the screen. I hope that you have such a wonderful life that you do not need to contact them. But if you do, their info is right here on the screen. Oh, thanks for being here, Judy. Wow, it's late. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Hi, Tara. Hi, Rosado. Sarah says, I have two German shepherds, so fireworks are not fun. Aw, poor babies. Poor babies. Tara says, wow, can I ask someone what that holiday means? I'm from Australia and have no idea what it means, so please enlighten me. So, oh my gosh, you guys, why am I so bad on history? I know most things, right? I'm actually taking a history course right now, but July 4th is our date of independence. That's when we won the Revolutionary War um, against King George the Third. I should have done some research before jumping on this live, but if anyone wants to give more detail than that, please do. I'm also like really good at watching the musical Hamilton, so I know all that information. But essentially, that was when our nation was established, and um, yeah, if it was thanks to very heroic people and um, yeah, I'm a very proud American. I feel like this really has been the land of opportunity. My family, they're immigrants. They came to America in the late 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And, if it wasn't for that, I don't even know where my life would be. So it's an incredible, I don't know, I'm just very proud to be American, very proud to be here. Um, Very proud of my family. I'm first generation and I went to college here. I went to graduate school here. My dad actually went to college as well. He was a CPA. You guys want to know something really funny about my dad? He cracks me up. And this might sound a little morbid, but it's completely his personality. So I think I should start by saying my dad passed away in January of 2022, and he had cancer, stage four colon cancer, for many, many years. He was diagnosed, I think, in 2017. And like I said, so my dad is an accountant, and there's like specific dates during the year that are very important for his business. So it was around March, my dad was saying he wasn't feeling well, and I was like, "Dad, you need to go to the doctor." And he's like, "I'll go after the April 15 tax deadline." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So April 15 comes and goes, and I'm like, "Okay, Dad, now you need to go." And then he's like, "No, no, I'm gonna go on vacation, so let me do it when I come back from vacation." And I'm like, "Okay." So then he comes back from vacation. I'm like, "Okay, Dad, now it's time to go." And he was like, "Well, let's wait until the September 15 tax deadline." And then September 15 comes and goes, and I say, "Dad, you really need to go to the doctor." And he's like, "Well, let's wait for the October 15 deadline to go." So I'm saying all of this to set up the stage about, well, I mean, this shows that my dad was in denial and he just didn't want to face the reality of what was going on, but also how obsessed he was with work. He was very proud of being an accountant and of being a CPA. So in October of that year, what's the Mean Girls Day? Is it October 6th? Because it was on the Mean Girls Day that he was diagnosed, and they tell him at the doctor's office that, or at the hospital, "You have stage 4 cancer, and we need to start treatment." And my dad says to them, "Okay, can I come back after October 15?" Can you believe it? This is what my dad tells them, "Can I come back after October 15?" And they they tell him, "Sir, you're at liver failure. You have 1 to 3 days to live, and we need to start treatment immediately." Now, the reason I mention all of that is what a miracle that we went from him having 1 to 3 days to live to him living like 4.5 years beyond that. So, amazing, amazing, amazing miracle. Okay, so all of this to say, circling back to, oh, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I want to make this kind of a funny story though, because so I've told you guys my stepmom is a malignant narcissist, and I was not I was not involved in any of his death planning stuff. I was not allowed to give a eulogy. I was barely told when the funeral was, but anyways, so my I had no idea what my dad's headstone would be like. And I kid you not, everybody, my dad's headstone says his name, and then it says certified public accountant. So it's literally a business card. And I just love that so much for him because, of course, he would want that. Like, he was just so proud of being an accountant, and it just warms my heart that that's how he chose his headstone to be. So anyway, I know my dad is so cute. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Um, oh, thank you, Carol. So if you could please hit the like button, and I hope I didn't bring the chat down. That wasn't my intention. I was just trying to say, like, look what a dedicated and it's just so I think it's so cute. It's so cute that that's what he decided to do. I know 4.5 extra years, right? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I know. Thank you, Haley. Yeah, CPA. He was very proud of it. He honestly, like, he worked up until he was in hospice. Like, he worked his whole life, never really took a break. Like, he was just very proud of it, and he instilled that ethic, that work ethic in me, like, to be proud of the work I'm doing and the contribution, and um, yeah, yeah. Anyways, guys, do you guys want to do some fun questions? We can do some fun questions really quick though, because I had something else planned, but I want to jump into the fun questions, especially because I just brought us into a Debbie Downer moment, and it's time for us to celebrate and and let's have some laughs. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, so the first question, hypothetical, funny question for all of you is if Megan planned a 4th of July barbecue, who would she invite? And you know what? I don't think I asked a question on who Harry would invite, but that's fair game too. Feel free to respond with who you think Harry might invite also. Thank you, Karen. Yeah. I know. I know. I love hearing stories about cool dads too. And um man, my dad. He's funny, and yes, he's proud of his title, it's honorable, yes, absolutely. I mean, he dedicated so much of his life to that work, you know? So, um, yeah, it's really cute. Hi, Alice, welcome. Zephyr says she would invite her chickens. Carol says A-list celebrities. Shabby says herself, of course, herself. Sarah says Oprah. True Crime says, "Can you discuss what you were going to say about MM's wine reveal? You didn't get to say it on the Twins show." What was I gonna say about MM's wine reveal? Oh my goodness, True Crime Wifey, I don't remember what I was gonna say. Um, do you happen to remember, True Crime Wifey, what the context was? Maybe if I remember what the context was, I might remember what I was going to say. Yeah, sorry. Margaret says Marcus. Yep. Katie says all of the big celebs. Gilly says her BFF Serena. Of course, of course. The entire Hollywood A-list. Sue says. Happy says Jeff Bezos, Bezos, but not his wife. Sandra says astronaut Gail King. What about astronaut Katy Perry? Would she be invited too? They do. Katy Perry and Megan seem to have a very similar style of kissing their husbands. Mindy, True Crime Wifey says, Hale, yeah, says, would H be celebrating at all? And that's a good question. Like, how does Harry feel about this holiday? Right? It's um it must be conflicting for him, right? Like, now he's set up residence here. Um, he doesn't seem to like America very much, though, the way he talks about our, Constitution. But yeah, yeah, he must be conflicted. Emily Kate says she would say how important family are and then invite no family at all. Yes, yes. The crying makeup guy, Lulu's mom says so Daniel would be there. Yeah. Cindy says she would invite all her invisible friends and no one would come. Donata says she would invite Uncle Sam and then say his non-response was racist. Yep. Uh, Alice says her Lilibet and the ghost of Diana. Oh, hell yeah, that's a good one. Nicola and Brooklyn. Yeah, to add more salt to that wound, right? Steve says would invite her dad, brother, and sister. Yeah, it would be a Markle a Markle 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, Denise. Thank you. Hi, just me. A billionaire, not 20 says. Coral Sand says Elon Musk and Amber Heard. Do you think they'd get along, Coral Sand? Do you think Amber Heard would get along with Megan? Alana says she would invite a bunch of rich celebs. None would come, but she'd say they were all there and raved about how her jam made them so happy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, just love um they would just love the baskets, right, that they got. Hale, yeah, says I work with a Brit who calls it Trader Day. Sarah's asking, do you notice a difference of narcissistic traits from men and women culturally? Sarah, let me think. I have to tell you that I grew up with a lot of narcissistic women, and and specifically, my stepmom is a malignant narcissist. So, and of course, I mentioned earlier that I'm an immigrant. So culturally, I know how to identify it a lot more in women of my culture. And I think, I'm not the same, I don't have the same heritage as Megan does, but the facial expressions Megan makes, I recognize a lot in women. Now, my experience with men being narcissist, is romantically, right? So I know for sure my ex-husband is a narcissist, and I think just in the fact that the relationships are different, like, with my ex-husband, it's romantic, and with, um, the women that were in my family that exhibit narc traits, there was a level of respect I had to have for them just because they were the older generation. The dynamics are a little bit different, so it's hard for me to answer that, and I have to say I recognize the narcissism much more in women than I do with men. So that's why if you notice, usually the people I talk about are women. I talk about Megan or Blake Lively or, Hilaria Baldwin. It's easier for me to recognize. And I guess I'm just coming from that perspective that I just recognize it easier. So, I'm sure the traits are very similar, um, but yeah, that's just my opinion and my perspective. So everyone, you all let me know in the chat, what do you all feel about that? Annabelle says she would bring a huge mirror. Lisa was says her plastic bees. Charlie says she'd come dressed as Diana. Oh my goodness. Lulu's mom says Harry's probably making his disgusted down face, nose down face about 4th of July. Oh, look who's here, everyone. Hi, Royal Daily Tea. Happy 4th. Oh my gosh, we were just chatting yesterday. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Hi, Kate. So Katie says if anyone showed up, she'd force her flour sprinkles on everyone's food. Oh my gosh, can you imagine you're eating a hot dog and she it comes and she sprinkles the Oh, it's like sweet and savory, right? Montecito has a parade today. Well, Lisa, why don't we get into the next question then? And let me set it up. And you know what? It was actually the next question. I was going to scroll through to make sure I got the right question, but okay. So if Megan designed a float for the annual 4th of July parade, what would that float look like? Just Me says, did I see the Montecito duo taking their supposed children to a parade this time? Was it last year or the year before? And I remember Betty was wearing like she looked very warm. The clothing that she was wearing seemed very warm, and it's hot right now. So baby grandma says, in my experience, females are far worse. Lisa says, I think she'd invite Prince William without Princess Catherine, and she'd want another try at getting her mitts on him. I could totally see that, Lisa. And Prince William would be shouting from over there, no way, girl, we ain't coming. No way. Lulu's mom says, same, I recognize it in women as well. I never get the men right. With me, with men, I recognize it when it's love bombing. Like in a romantic setting it's easy for me to feel it because I don't like that intense flattery at first. I don't It really puts my guard up and it's like nails on a chalkboard for me when someone's known me a week and they say that I'm the most amazing woman they've ever met. Like I don't want to hear it. I don't believe you. And why are you telling me that? It's a manipulation tactic. So for me, that's when I recognize it the quickest in men in love bombing in a romantic setting. But like outside of that, I have a hard time recognizing it. Yeah. Okay. Alice says, "Do you think we're all going to get barbecue suggestions in season 2 of her show?" I was wondering that. Like, is it what would she do for season 2 if it's coming out in the fall? Is she going to be making like pumpkin stuff, pumpkin ravioli and things like that? Hi, Neely. Thanks for being here. Steve says men narc think that they are God's gift to women. Yeah, don't they? My ex sure did. Katie says everyone would need water and toothpicks after. Yeah. Yeah. A crown. So Sarah says the float would look like a crown. Carol says Megan. So I think it would be a float shaped like Megan, Carol. It would be her face, Agatha says. Alice says a Disney castle with a huge throne for herself with flower sprinkled cannons on both sides. I love it. I love it. Baby grandma says Scott Rouse. I hope I pronounced his last name right. From the behavior panel says the flower sprinkles smell and taste like hay. Ew. Katie says it would be lots of beige and her face. Chat says it would be a yacht float. Oh my. Cindy says it would be her on a throne with a crown. Okay. Uh, not 20 says Megan would be in the middle of the float, dripping in jewelry with a giant tiara waving through someone egging her. Oh my gosh. Oh, Gilly, that's good. It would be her holding the kids with their backs to us. Karen says women feel far more manipulative with their narcissism, I think you mean, Karen. Yeah, and that's what I've experienced too. Definitely I felt a lot more manipulation from the women. Neely says a float with Harry's face and body all depressed with alcohol and her standing by with $100 bills, yo. Making it rain, Neely. Oh my gosh, Donata, the float would be about the letter she wrote at 11 that changed the world. And because of that, would there be what was this dish soap brand? Was it Dove or Purell or whatever it was? But would there be bubbles coming out made with that same dish soap? Oh my goodness, you guys are great. Yes, just me. She was wearing long white socks and it was like 90 degrees. It was hot. Haley says she'd be on a throne, her adoring fans sprinkling her with dried hamster flowers. Oh my goodness, look at this honor, you guys. Thank you, Megan's Mole, for being here. Thank you so much. I can't believe you're here. I joined your live yesterday. That was a good time. And yeah, thanks for being here, Megan's Mole. I appreciate it. Fangirling, you guys. Totally fangirling. Megan's Mole was one of the biggest accounts I followed before I started my channel, and then I started my ex account first, and it was around the time that Harry and Meghan were in Colombia, And I posted one video the first day that I started my X account, and Royal Rogue talked about it, the video that I made. Unfortunately, it was retweeted by someone else, so the other person got the credit, but it was my video. But anyways, and I know because I had my, what's it called? Watermark on it. And then the second day I did a video and Megan's Mole showed my video. It was of Harry and Meghan doing that salsa dancing, and I compared it to um, Princess Diana and Prince Charles doing their dance in the 80s. And I was just fangirling, and I'm fangirling now. Thanks for being here, Megan's Mole. I appreciate it. True Crime Wifey says the float would be piled with all her own products that she herself purchased while waving, and Harry would be driving the truck that's pulling the float. Hilarious. Happy 4th, Kit Kat. Thanks for being here. Lisa says a beige float, beige throne, beige flowers, and beige wine. Yep. Baby grandma says right behind her float would be the float from the Mardi Gras parade a couple years ago where Harry, ooh, I haven't seen that, baby grandma. I'm gonna have to look that up. Disvan says she'd dress up as her dead mother-in-law, maybe have Harry drive the float shaped in a yacht. Oh my. Oh, and have all of Harry's deceased loved ones like a Mount Rushmore replica. Wow. Yeah. And I mean Mount Rushmore, that's showing American pride too, right? Oh my goodness. Zephyr says, no proper American needs barbecue tips from Meg Z. Yeah. Oh, Steve says her float would have $1,000 and a few microphones. She would need the mic. Actually, Steve, I'm going to gently uh, be a little bit more specific. I think there'd only be one microphone so that only she could have it. She needs to hold that microphone at all times. At all times. Oh, just me. That's great. The float would be made to look like the balcony at Buckingham Palace with her standing front and center. I love it. I could totally, totally see that. I could totally see that. Mirrors, tons and tons of mirrors, Kelly says. Hi, Christine. Thanks for being here. Yep, don't forget the microphone. Yep. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jay. I hope the same for you. I hope all of you have a wonderful 4th of July and you all enjoy the fireworks and everyone in other countries that are here. Thanks for being here and I hope you all have a wonderful day too. Mahira says, good one. The float would be a giant stage with a flower microphone. Honesty and truth. Thank you for your super chat. Perfectly clear proof of children and births made a huge mistake insulting the late queen. No forgiveness. Maybe she thought there was a Sussex castle. He and her are not welcome here by many. I'm not surprised. And every time that Harry opens his mouth and talks about the UK, it's not flattering. He doesn't say nice things about it. So I don't know. I can't imagine that where you continuously say negative things about people publicly. And not just the people of the UK, but his own family, and then expect to be welcomed. Like what type of delulu is that? Right? Meg has never Googled the 4th of July. That brings me to another question. You remember how Megan was saying, like, I had to Google the national anthem. Do you think Harry has had to Google the national anthem? Has he gotten any help learning the American anthem? Okay, guys, I'm going to go to the next question. Let's see. Okay, so if there was a celebratory potluck happening today, what would the Sussexes bring? I'm going to go on mute really quick and have a sip of my water, but I will be right back, everybody. All right, everyone. Let's see. The microphone beige, the microphone, Carol says, is Meg's safety blanket. Kelly says the float would be filled with paparazzi at her feet snapping pics. Oh my, that might not be a great angle with her feet in the picture. Oh, thank you, Lulu's mom. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for being here. Oh man. You are all the best. Thank you. Shabby says, "Hell yeah, no one told her words of your national anthem either." I may have missed something. Yeah. Uh, Jan says, "Afloat as a giant queen bee with pots of honey." Oh, that's creative. That's creative. Hi, joy of my hearts. Hillia says she would bring repackaged flour sprinkles to the potluck. Oh my gosh, Carol, the roast chicken. The roast chicken covered in flour sprinkles. Neely, I'm just going to read the first part of this. Flour sprinkles and wine. Baby grandma says Megan brings her jam. Lulu's mom says matching silver outfits and a basket of lemons. You're right. She would totally bring lemons, Lulu's mom. Pretzels that were put in a different bag. She's definitely bringing wine, Mahira says. Katie says there'd probably be a billboard for as ever. Yep. Finger dipped. Oh, focaccia. Oh no. Oh no. An invoice. She'd bring an invoice and an NDA. Oh my gosh. That's great. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness, you guys crack me up. I haven't done one of these, like, really funny hypothetical lives in a long time, and it's just such a good time. You guys are so funny. Let me think. What do I think they would bring to a celebratory potluck? Well, I don't know what they would bring, but whoever's home they'd go to, they'd offer Megan a steamer or an iron maybe. Oh, Lisa says Billie Eilish lunch boxes that she didn't give to that girl. Oh my goodness. Dog biscuits. Yep. Hi, Tassie. I appreciate you being here at such a late hour. Thank you. Uh, Tara says, all I learned about the 4th of July was from the Golden Girls. You don't wear white after Labor Day. It's true, Tara. And some people have like, whenever I stick to that rule, some people are like, do you really take that rule seriously? And I do. I really do take that rule seriously. However, there are times in the winter where like a really nice white coat is nice. Um, but yeah, I do most of the time stick to the no white is you wear white after Memorial Day through Labor Day. Yeah. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. Cindy says nothing as she is there. That would be enough. Yeah, to just show up on empty handed. What more do they need than Megan, Cindy? Absolutely. True Crime Wifey says sun tea. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, thank you, Katie. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We haven't done this in a while. It's a good time. It's always a good time. Denise says Megan would bring In-N-Out burger. Yep. Baby grandma says, I just love your channel. You always make me laugh and laugh. Yes, it is. Laughter is the best medicine. Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like a lot of my videos, they're very they are on the serious side of things, and I should do more that are funny because I really love to laugh. Jay says she'll bring out an NBC. She's too busy with meetings. She'll bring takeout. Yeah, yeah, and then she has to elevate it. So, it would be takeout, but she would put it really in a fancy way on plates, right? That's what she says. She does. Okay, everyone, let's go to the next question. The next question is, if Megan directed a 4th of July fireworks show, what message would she have spelled out in the sky? And I'm going to tell you that the next question is if Harry directed it. So feel free to respond with what you think Megan would have written in the sky and what Harry would have written in the sky. Uh, I know it's so fun, Neely. I haven't done this in a long time, so I think I should stick to this. What's it called? This method. This I'm drawing a blank on the word I want to say. This format. I think I should stick to this format. It's a good time. Lisa says I don't know what she would bring, but she wouldn't bring her children. Yep. Just me says the agency didn't have it. Oh my goodness. Robin says it would say me. Oh, Katie says it would say bye from as ever. Kelly says it would say my truth. Captain Infinity says a word salad. It would be a word salad. Um, I'm thinking Megan would say, just tell the truth. Everybody, just tell the truth. And we should take that as a command. We'll tell the truth happily. N Nicola says it would say Megan. Robin says it would say, "I love me." Katie says, "Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, is your queen." Yep, we it's our independence um, from a monarchy, but yeah. You know what's so I feel like maybe it seems not hypocritical, but, like, 2 opposing things that don't make sense, but the truth is they're true, like, I'm very proud of being an American, and I'm also really love the royal family. I just really do. So, both things can be true, even though they seem like they're contradictory. Charlie says it would say Megan's would say, "Look at me." Harry's would say, "Look at my wife." Lulu's mom says, "As ever, HRH, the Duchess of Sussex, no one can erase it in the sky." Yep. Baby grandma says, "HRH, Duchess of Sussex for queen would be spelled out." Yep. Alana says, "I'm so authentic." Lisa says, "The world loves me." Haley says, "Wrote a letter when I was 11." And I love how you cap that with 2 firework images. Oh my gosh. Harry says, "Help, help." Uh, Lisa says Harry's would say, Megan Denise says Megan's would say, "Women need a seat at the table," and Harry says, "Oh, you are all great." Thank you, Honesty and Truth. Honesty and Truth says, "Most of us here knew she was a bad one, I think. Thought she has a lot to learn. We weren't convinced by her engagement interview. We're not happy, of course, by the slurs and finances spent." I really can't imagine having the world as your oyster and messing and like not appreciating it and then messing it up so terribly. It's seriously one of the biggest downfalls I think I've ever seen. Jennifer says, "Megan's 4th of July mass. Look at me." Hi, Markle. Margaret says, "Harry's would say, I want reconciliation." Hi, Chrono Royals. Thanks for being here. Oh my gosh, Katie. That one is a fox. That's what it would say. Oh my goodness. Hi, Tune the News. Thanks for being here. This fan says, "Just tell the truth." Yeah, just tell the truth. That's what I would tell everybody. Just tell the truth. Jennifer says she would say, "I am so authentic." Lulu's mom says, "Oh, Harry's would say, Shirley, Shirley, Shirley." Thank you, Disfan. Disfan says, "Every year I wear my shirt with Queen Elizabeth II since Megxit just to remind friends and family that's how I celebrate." I love it. I love it. Jennifer says, "My jam is my jam." Yep. Katie says, "I'm better than the royal family." Lisa, I think it would say, "Ted Sarando, sign the new deal." Just Me says, "Harry's would say, 'Help me, please.'" Yep. Yep. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. The next question is the hairy one, and let's see how I don't know how many more I have. Okay, this one is an easy one, I feel. I think I only have 2 more questions. And let's start with this one. What would the Sussexes want to remove from the Constitution? And I think we know. Oh, thanks again, Disfan. She turned my royal watching up to a 10. I honestly feel the same too. Like I never really was a royal family watcher, and then when I started, what really opened my eyes was hearing about how she treated Princess Charlotte, and that really opened my eyes because I could never understand how someone could be cruel to a child, because I experienced that from my malignant narcissist stepmom, and that's when I just started connecting the dots and started really looking at all of this, closer. Tara says, "You just put the nail on the head. The world was her oyster and she wasn't capable of being a pearl. Honestly, she could have done so much, lived in, not having that, I feel like the majority of us, our biggest concerns are um, paying the bills and having a roof over our head and having health insurance. And can you imagine a life where you don't worry about those things? Where you're just focused um, on your own health, like we see how, Catherine, Princess of Wales, is a good example of that, and also for bringing the best good to people. I can't imagine a more fulfilling life than that. Hi, Gilly. I'm sorry to hear you're having a rough week, and I thank you so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying it. Cindy says freedom of speech. Yep, freedom of speech. Harry's fireworks sign would say, "I ran out of crayons." Yep. Yeah, I think it would be freedom of speech. Absolutely. Absolutely. Harry would say, "What's the Constitution?" Yep, all he knows is he just doesn't like the First Amendment. He just doesn't like people being able to say whatever having the freedom to say what you wanna say. And then I think this one was a very easy one to figure out what they would remove, but what do you think they would add to the Constitution? I think this one is gonna get us a wide variety of answers. I'm excited to see what you come up with. Margaret says every parent that is a narcissist is cruel to their children. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Sarah says, I mean, she was bringing color to the family, so I don't understand why she didn't embrace it. And the community would have loved her so much. Absolutely. And they did love her so much. There was so much support. And to think, like, look, I just have a little channel here, right? And I expect there to be people that don't agree with me. I expect there to be people that say negative things or comment negative things or dislike my videos or don't agree with me. That's just how it is. Not everyone is going to agree with every single thing you say. And if you're surrounded by people that are consistently yes men, like I'm sure Megan's staff is, they get fired, in my opinion, if they stray from what Megan wants them to say, then you really have to question that. Why do people not feel comfortable voicing opinions that are in opposition to yours? It should be a healthy dynamic where you can express your opinions. And um, I don't know how I got to this topic, but yeah, thank you, Sarah. Jay says Meg will remove all the signatures and whatever her name. You have all the founding fathers. Theirs would be removed. Denise says the preamble would change to "We the Sussexes." Yep. Carol says it would say "You must believe me." Jat says it would have the titles. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Captain Finity says Harry would roll it up and add herbs. Katie says you have to worship Harry and Meghan. Kelly says rules for thee, none for me. Saigon Passion says, oh my gosh, broke my heart about Princess Charlotte and her BFF did it too. Who does that? And that's just it. It's unbelievable. That's a really good point because how can adults watch this happen? I don't understand that either. I don't get it. I will like if I see even my closest friend or family member being cruel to a child, I don't need that relationship with that person who's being cruel. I don't need a friend or a family member like that. It's awful. I would protect the child. So I don't understand it. And that says a lot about Jessica Mulroney, just letting it happen. Lisa says they would remove the preamble. We the people would just would be changed to just refer to herself. Yep. Oh, hell yeah, that's a good one. That they should provide security for them. I think Cindy says it would say, "My truth is the truth." Donata says, "No disparaging words spoken or written about Megan, even if it's truthful." Yep. Lisa says, "A new monarchy for America with them as king and queen." Yep. Ivy's asking everyone to please hit the like button so If you could please hit the like button. Thank you. Gilly, I know I'm growing so fast. I'm so close to 40,000 subscribers right now. I'm like less than 500 away. So it would be awesome if I could hit it by the end of this weekend to hit that 40K. Yeah. Kelly says everyone should have an opinion. This brings conversation. Exactly. And you should feel safe expressing that opinion, right? Because when you don't feel safe expressing it, then you hold things back and you can't be your authentic self, as Megan says herself. Just Me says it would say what Megan wants, Megan gets. That's a good one. Lisa says there would be a new tax that goes straight to them. Yep, I could totally see that. Um, Kelly says Harry would have to ask M first. Oh, they would make you vote for Harry or William to be king. Well, oh my goodness, Sarah. I'm pretty sure we know who would lose the vote, who would lose that election, right? Katie says Megan would sign it and sprinkle dried flowers. Oh my goodness. Rosado says mandatory bowing and curtsying to them and no looking them in the face. Oh my goodness, the audacity. She would rewrite the Constitution in her calligraphy, Jat says. Oh, thank you, Katie. We're getting there very close. We're getting very, very close. Kelly says they are allowed to grift. Yep. Yeah, Charlie, a 40K party is on its way. We're getting I think it'll happen this weekend. If I continue with like the amount that my account has been growing, but we'll see. We'll definitely have a celebration for it for sure. Lisa says keys to every city and all mayors must host them free of charge and with all privileges and access to any Hollywood event. And she can act in any film she wants and everything. Every time she flies, it's on a private jet. She doesn't take commercial airlines and she doesn't drive. She just takes a private jet everywhere. Yep, yep. All right, everyone. I'm gonna close this off. I'm glad we did these questions. I had some other stuff planned, but I'm glad we took our time to go through these questions because there were some great answers here today. Everybody, I appreciate it so much. I'm gonna end the live. I don't know if I've told you all, but my voice has been it goes in and out a lot recently, and I've been coughing a bit, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm really glad I was able to have this live stream. I have my chamomile tea next to me, so that's helped soothe my throat. I want to tell everybody if you're interested, I'm having a members live stream tomorrow at the same time. So if you'd like to join as a member, feel free. We're gonna have a good time again tomorrow, and I'm gonna try assuming that my throat is doing well, that I will have another live on Sunday at the same time. So I know private notes, this was lots of fun. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, baby grandma. Thank you, everybody that was here with me today. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon and day. Happy 4th, everyone. And I will talk to everybody soon. Bye, everybody.